Hmm. Hello, everybody. It is I, Mario Mihalis, certified hypnotherapist and astrologer. I also go by the Blu-ray Bodhisattva. That's fucking me, the Blu-ray Bodhisattva. I love saying that, because like that really is me. Like that's who I am, like on a soul essence. Like I've done the work and meditated and allowed years, like 10 years of feeling into this soul identity and going through a lot of work to come to this conclusion and knowingness that, like, yeah, I'm the Blu-ray Bodhisattva, and it's a long story to break down what that really means, but in essence, I'm a Blu-ray soul. I'm a Blu-ray individual, so I'm passionate about the truth, more on the indigo side, very warrior, in my approach with things. My energy and my intentions and what I do in my life has to come from a very pure place, and Bodhisattva, I've lived many many lifetimes here, and I walk the Bodhisattva path, and every time I incarnate here on earth, I become a bodhisattva that is in accordance to where I need to, in accordance to the energies and frequencies of where I'm needed, where I need to meet in order to bring in that Blu-ray illuminating frequency as a bodhisattva. So Blu-ray Bodhisattva, what's up, y'all? Okay. New moon in Pisces. New moon in Pisces is going to apex tomorrow at 4 a.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be while we are sleeping when the full moon in Pisces occurs. This is, in case you guys didn't know, this is a channeled portrait that I've done. So there's a lot going on in this portrait, a lot going on, a lot of soul fucking retrieval and work and moving through things here. There's my bodhisattva self right there. There's all the frequencies and angels and guides and past lives and the journey of remembering and it being initiated, being a Blu-ray child of the sun, coming in through the heart portals, and a warrior, having to go through many different stages of being a warrior, and a lot of people get turned off by which way am I going? There we go. A lot of people get turned off by that, clown, that like sinister clown, jester mask that's there. So there's different stages, different masks here, A lot of people get turned off by that piece because they don't understand it. And then they're like, okay, what's this? Is this an entity? Is this some like, weird entity backdoor or whatever? No, this is the trickster energy. This is the trickster energy that is within all of us, that operates through our subconscious mind, and it is connected to the ego and the way our ego establishes its defense mechanisms in protecting our consciousness, because we are fragile, weak little humans that have to work our way up towards our consciousness being able to have the capacity to understand, witness, and embody our more multidimensional God aspects. So this is a very crucial energy that is a part of life, that is within all of us, this menacing trickster energy that can create painful experiences in our lives and can contribute to psychological torment, basically being at dis-ease with yourself. And so this energy is very important to understand, respect, embody, and be aware of on our journeys. If it wasn't for this trickster energy, I wouldn't have been the fool initiating down my path, having to move myself through all the different experiences that I've created through unconscious mechanisms of my false belief structures that I've obtained and have been programmed in me from my early childhood adolescence that were operating within, you know, my subconscious mind. So if it wasn't going through that journey and being the fool and not aware of how much baggage and shit and pain and ego and arrogance I have back there, it, I wouldn't have gone through those awakening dark night of the soul, ego death experiences to become more aware of my shadow. You know, so I embrace this energy, I respect it, I understand it. And so that's what that is there. Because I know some of you guys need that, because you guys, you know, you guys look at things and like to identify things that you see with something having no bridging context. Just, you know, you find something that you can to validate and confirm what you want to identify and associate with confirmation bias, and then y'all just run with it. We all do it. It's just a part of the human nature, but that's what people fucking do. They just fucking run with it. They over identify with something and just run with it, with having no actual, you know, facts or rationality or context. It's just run with it. And, you know, one of my favorite things, not really my favorite things, that people do in these communities, oh, my guides told me, my guides told me this, my guides told me that. I don't mean that to bash on guides. Like, we all have guides. I have guides, we have guides, but we also have our minds. And it's whoa, what the fuck? Did you guys see those balloons? I've never seen that. What just happened? What just happened there? What the fuck? Whoa, that's crazy. What the hell? That's wild. Anyways, we have our minds, okay? And it's very complex, and there are multiple personalities within our mind, whether you want to be aware of that or not, okay? We have an inner child, we have a happy inner child, we have a wounded inner child, we have our narcissistic side, we have our savior side. There are multiple different aspects of our psyche that are all working simultaneously, okay? And so anyways, I forgot where I was really going with that. I'm channeling right now. So I'm really activated and turned on and in channel mode right now. So like, we're going to be flowing through an experience here together in this particular Pisces new moon. Now, for this Pisces new moon, what I want to speak upon to you all is making connections that not a lot of people bring into the description when talking about Pisces. So normally what we all associate Pisces with is being the dreamer, escaping into different realities, the suffering, victim, martyrdom, but also like achieving Christ consciousness. Pisces is very, very sensitive energy that can feel connected to all things, everything. And Pisces comes from the 12th house. All right, so the 12th house is associated to the subconscious mind. And the mechanisms within the subconscious mind that gives the effect of that Piscean nature of being the dreamer and being very magical in dreaming realities out of nothing into something, you know, and why Pisces tend to escape from the mundane is because it's all about what is operating within the subconscious mind. So what I mean by that, and that this gets really overlooked and not talked about, is that Pisces and the 12th house are deeply psychological. So the 12th house, subconscious, Pisces, this is both deeply psychological and metaphysical. And the two are connected in how we experience our reality with the projector, with the film that projects the reality coming from our belief systems, what we inherently believe. And that is all connected to the subconscious mind. So, you know, depending on what belief systems that you have operating unconsciously within your subconscious mind, meaning that you are not aware of it. You don't know that you have all these things going on in your subconscious mind. So those belief systems, because you truly believe it and the universe is unconditional, is what creates the effect of how you experience your waking reality. And we're going to keep breaking this down some more. So the subconscious is connected to everything, okay? And everything is connected. This whole universe, the multiverse, everything is connected through the quantum realm, the quantum web, all that stuff. The science is there, okay? So don't, I don't have to sound like a literate professional. I know what I'm talking about, and I know you know what I'm talking about. And it just takes a matter of, some research and a couple hours to, be, literate in speaking exactly what this is, but I'm coming from the heart and you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. So subconscious mind is connected through everything, through the quantum realm, through everything. So it's through the subconscious mind, and is how we channel, is where we access divination, is through where we dream. It's how we are able to access more supernatural perception. And the subconscious mind also is paying attention to everything. The subconscious mind is taking in, I think it's like 100 million bits of information per moment. Per any given moment, your subconscious mind is picking up 100 million bits of information. Okay. And it connects that information to the whole universe, to everything. And your subconscious mind is always aware of what's happening. Your conscious mind always knows what time it is, always knows what day it is, always knows the routine, always knows what's happening in here. Your conscious mind retains everything, and it fucking knows. It's where your higher self and where your guides work and communicate with you, is through that knowingness of the subconscious mind. The conscious mind, our conscious awareness, can only handle 10 to 30 bits of that 100 million bits of information per moment. 10, 15, 30 bits. Minuscule. And I'm really exaggerating this because, like, our egos in this community, like, we really think we are way more like expansive consciously than we actually are, because like people, you can tell things to people and they're like, no, I'm not that, or I wouldn't never do that, or blah blah blah, that's not how it. And it's like, no, consciously you want to believe and think that that's not what you're doing. But what you can't see is this whole other side of you that's unconscious, working through your subconscious superpower. That's, what I mean. So this, like, people, this is a whole other side of you that you can't see, that's running the whole fucking show. Okay. And this is very connected to Pisces and the 12th house. Okay. Now, so it's fucking hot in here. I'm baking a 20-pound turkey, so the oven is on and it's hot, and so so based on what your belief systems are, your thought patterns, and what you imagine and what's going on through the subconscious mind, and how the subconscious mind is able to connect to everything in the universe and manifest it, that's how we live our storyline. Like, we are all creating this movie, your experiences. And that's why Pisces in the 12th house is very intense in its polar things that it governs. And what I mean by that is Pisces in the 12th house governs suffering, martyrdom, being a victim, sacrificing, escaping into drugs and prison and mental institutions. And at the same time, Pisces in the 12th house also represents transcending into a whole different dimension, transcending out of the mundane, escaping the mundane, and transcending through a whole higher plane. And the way to go through that whole higher plane is through surrendering and merging with the unified consciousness of one that lives in through unconditional love. So, we've been going through Pisces season right now. And I was giving a hypnotherapy session to a client today, and she was explaining to me what, the things she had been going on, and how the last few weeks she's just been very lethargic and blah blah blah. And like everyone's been feeling this way, including myself. And I'm just reminding everybody, like, oh well, yeah, because we've been in Pisces season, and Pisces season is the sign of sleeping. You know, Pisces season is the sign of dreaming. And wants to escape the mundane reality and sleep all day if it can and be in this other world. So we've been moving through this, but also, there's this context of like sadness. There's this context of like, because what are we doing when we go to sleep? We're coping. We're coping, and we're processing, and we're venting. We're venting, and we're processing, and we're filtering things that we just can't consciously do because it's too much and it's overwhelming. So that's why we go to sleep, to vent it. The subconscious vents it and dreams it, and all that sort of stuff. So when we go through Pisces season, we are going through that whole venting process awake, which can make us feel more sleepy, more dreamy, more out of it, more kind of like discombobulated in our body and our physical awareness, because we are going through a spiritual cleanse. Pisces season is a spiritual cleanse. Okay. We're going through a showering right now, where we're having to wash this bruise, that grime, this thought, this belief, and go through the pain of what we've been experiencing the last 12 months and your whole life. So every year when we go through Pisces season, we're like going through this spiritual cleansing, that of processing all of our karmic shit from our whole lives. And one of the examples that I gave was like, okay, so during Pisces season, it's like a time where it's like a time where all of a sudden all your like childhood trauma can be surfacing, right? And like for whatever reason, you're just thinking more about all the fucked up things you experienced when you were young, in your family, with your siblings, in your household, and all that sort of stuff. And like you're just like diving deeper and deeper and deeper to your own self torment of reliving the emotions, like, oh, my parents were this and that, and I never got, blah blah blah, and like feeling it and feeling it and feeling it, and until you reach this breaking point where finally you cry. This cleansing of moving the waters, of crying and releasing. And then because that conscious side has to reach a breaking point where then it's raw and unfiltered and uninhibited in the way you're protecting yourself through your ego, and go through this whole process of like feeling it. And then what helps you get to the other side, so this is where it gets really tricky with Pisces energy, because depending on the condition of your mental health and your mental awareness, and how you interpret and discern all that you are experiencing, you can go one of a few ways. You can dig yourself deeper. You can continue to perpetuate more self-harm through your story, putting you deeper into that vibration of being a victim, of being of your suffering, of being a martyr, like, oh, and that's why I can never do this and do that, because I have complex PTSD and adverse childhood trauma. And it's like, wow, you could have chose a different script. So it's like going through that pain, going through that trauma, and then being like, okay, I want to reach the other side in this higher domain. So you know what, I'm just gonna forgive. I'm just gonna I forgive it. I forgive it, and I love it. And I'm just gonna show compassion. And then boom, when we choose to go that route, that's when the portal opens, where we then transcend. We then transcend and have a divine, supernatural, a spiritual experience that then elevates our consciousness to be able to see above the miasma of what we experience in this incarnate, and see and get a glimpse and be like, oh my God, my mother is actually my child, and my father is actually my brother. And we've been living through multiple lives together, reliving the same story over and over and over, taking different parts in the role that we've been doing. And oh my gosh, like this whole time, like I've taken everything so fucking down personal, but really we've just been doing what we agreed to do in this lifetime to help ensure that we become the kind of person we need to be, in this world, in this time. So this is the spiritual cleansing. We have to go through the cleansing of having to filter through your own pain, your own story, your own belief structures that bring up baggage of things that you've gone through, that enforce this belief structure that doesn't have to be real and likely isn't true. We have to go through that cleansing. We have to go through that sadness, that depression first, which is why Pisces season is like, I got tired. I don't want to go to work today. I don't want, can I just order a cheeseburger today, and I want a milkshake and a hot bath, and so, we go through that process to transcend and then purify and cleanse ourselves of this, of all this that's going on. So going back to the psychology of it, right? So what people don't understand is that your psychological framework and your mental health is so fucking important right now in the reality you want to dream for yourself. Okay. So you are a co-creator of what this, yes, the divine and spirit guides and all that stuff is very, very real. But the lines blur super fucking easy, and and it mixes. It's not, it's not like water and oil where it stays separate. The lines blur very easily of the divine and the supernatural and what you have operating within your subconscious mind, within your belief systems, because it's unconditional. So if you're in this victim role, like, I never get love. I'm never going to find somebody and blah, blah, blah. Then then it's going to keep on working that way. So a lot of us right now are getting ready to have a massive breakthrough within our healing journey, like massive total breakthrough in our healing journey. And so what happens when we get ready to go through these kinds of breakthroughs is the old self, the old wounded self tries to fight for survival, because it's becoming aware that its time in serving you and protecting you is no longer needed. And we are reaching this point in our healing journey where all of the baggage from the trauma we experienced before and that negative outlook and belief systems is being outdated and deleted, because we have been doing so much work over the last 10, 12, 15 years of healing ourselves and studying and expanding our consciousness and practicing and trying new ways and new things. And now this whole other lighter, brighter, pure, authentic version of yourself is being ready to fully be embodied with you, with that old aspect of yourself right now. So as we are getting ready to go through this breakthrough, there are different aspects of our psyche, of our wounded self, that is basically screaming and fighting and grabbing hair and pulling and scratching, because it doesn't want, it's afraid to go. So during this time right now, this could bring about having to go through experiences where you feel like you're under a psychic attack. Oh my gosh, I'm under a psychic attack. Oh my gosh, I had a negative thought, I'm under a psychic attack. Oh my gosh, when I close my eyes, I keep saying demons and fucked up things, I'm under psychic attack, and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, but are you really under psychic attack? Are you really under psychic attack? Or are you just going through a war between your dark and your light within yourself, because you're getting ready to go through a massive breakthrough and becoming a completely different person? And there are parts of yourself that the wounded parts of yourself are afraid of what that means. And so we have to walk ourselves, we have to walk ourselves in love and grace and all of our wounded aspects of ourselves through this breakthrough, through this journey right now. So when I was talking with my client today, I was giving an example of when I was driving home one day. I get off work at midnight, and one night I had to take a different route home, because I had to pick up some things from somebody's house that I was picking up. No, it wasn't drugs. Though I wish, but honestly, I haven't done any drugs in weeks. So Pretty cool. Interesting. Because normally during Pisces season is when we try to escape and do a little and overdo it with the drug use and alcohol and all that stuff. Anyway, so I'm off work. It's past midnight. I'm on a different route. So I'm driving through the Appalachian Mountains, through back roads, and the fog starts to get really thick, like super thick fog, and then it starts raining, and then I start, my nervous system, right? My nervous system starts to get uncomfortable. Okay, my nervous system's like, oh, spooky, right? Spooky, ghosts, danger, spooky, unknown, the dark, right? And so this is sort of sad. This is sort of sad because, because I have gone through so much fucked up shit in my life from birth through my adult life, my nervous system, my mind, my unconscious is so wired to expect and fear the worst outcome in any situation, even if I can look all around and see that I'm safe and everything is good. So then like I'm explaining this to my client, and I'm like, so I'm driving down the road, and then once I had that flash moment of discomfort of where I was and what I was doing, and being like, oh my gosh, the boogeyman, Mothman is going to get me or whatever, then because of that physiological response, it then triggered aspects of my subconscious to start producing images within my mind's eye. And I started seeing nasty images, like demonic images, weird distorted figures, just like all over my psychic space. Okay. And I was sharing this example because my client is going through something right now, and I'm helping her how to discern what is actually supernatural and what is actually something that is within your own subconscious mind, what's actually yourself. So I'm using this example, and I'm telling her, like, um I had, even though now I'm being bombarded with just this fucking streamline of like negative images and fearful feelings and all that sort of stuff, I had a choice, right? I had a choice. Oh my God, I'm under psychic attack. I'm driving through enemy territory. Like, if I'm not careful, like, something might happen out here because the Illuminati is out to get me or whatever, like I could go that way, but that's not the route that I took. Instead, I disconnected, disassociated myself, detached myself from what I was experiencing to witness it, and realizing, okay, you know what? These feelings and some of these images, I recognize these images. Some of these images are coming from things that I saw and experienced and felt and imagined from when I was a child. Okay. So remember, the subconscious mind retains everything. So do you remember every single ugly, nasty movie or picture or thought you've ever had in your whole life? You consciously know, but it's there in the subconscious. Okay. So when we trigger that fear response, it can release a lot of things to reinforce that fear mechanism, to agitate your body to try to find safety, to get you out of that danger zone, out of that situation. So I understood that what was going on is that the floodgates had opened of just releasing every single thing that ever scared me in my whole life as a child growing up. That's what it was. It's not psychic attack. I wasn't driving through a mystical fog of torment, or like, demonic spells or anything. It was all me and all of the things that I've input into my brain. So that's when something you have to understand is your brain has every single image, thought, movie, sound, everything that you've ever experienced through your senses. Your brain, your subconscious mind still retains it. And so it can release it in certain ways, but our conscious mind sometimes doesn't always remember or know or have the understanding of what's happening. Get what I'm saying? So this is why I want to talk about this during this Pisces new moon, because we're really evolving as a human race right now in our psychic abilities and how we connect with the divine. But we have to make a massive leap right now to really start understanding the psychology of all of this as well, because they go hand in hand. The psychology of your metaphysical, divine, supernatural abilities go hand in hand. It goes fucking hand in hand. They're not separate. And so, you know, like that's what I understood. And I'm explaining this to her, and she's like, damn, holy fucking shit. Like, I get it. I get it. I get what you're saying, you know, because she's like, oh, psychic attack. I'm, you know, bombarded. And, you know, anytime I sit and do this, like this and that, and this and that happens. And it's like, no, like, this is like, you're not under psychic attack. Like, you have been doing so much work in your life. You have experienced so much fucked up shit that you're so hardwired to be in fear, to be in hypervigilant and expect the worst. And your subconscious mind reinforces that. And you're getting ready to break through. And like this is all of us now. I'm speaking about all of us. We're getting ready to break through. Okay. So, you know, I get frustrated and upset with myself when my mind is constantly like thinking, oh, Illuminati, child sacrificing, Satan, and blah, blah, blah. My mind is so focused on all the negative stuff that I'm not imagining or dreaming of any of the beauty, of any of the bliss. Okay. And so I want to change that. And I know you want to change that too. So we're coming to this point of learning how to still be aware and receive, you know, factual informations of what's happening in the world, but evolve our capacity to be more in charge of how our subconscious mind is filtering it all, where we are in charge and experiencing the divine. Because so, like, you know, some of those really high vibe people that channel profound source information, they don't spend an ounce of their time diving into the conspiracies and search seeking as we do. They don't fucking spend an ounce of their time doing. What do? They spend all their time connecting to source, connecting to God, looking at that frequency and seeing it in a whole different picture. And what are they having? They're having like the most amazing spiritual experiences, right? However, you know, me being a Blu-ray soul, I'm not like, that's not, that's not me. That's not my nature. We need those people to do that because they're here to like really anchor in. But I'm part of a special elite class that is capable and can do the heavy lifting of looking at this and looking at this at the same fucking time and figuring out how to transmute it, because the work does need to be done. We can't just skip to the fifth dimension, you know? So this Pisces new moon, it's very divine and supernatural, okay? But understand that the psychological framework of your belief systems and how you choose to discern and interpret what you experience is very important to the ways you are going to experience the divine and the supernatural. And it's unconditional. It's unconditional. So you can perpetuate your own torment and dive deeper into those lower frequencies, or evolve and transcend into a whole different domain. But that means leaving the pain body. That means leaving the pain body behind. And that somehow feels like a threat to us because it's all we've known, and it's carried us this far, and it's protected us, and it's actually very wise. So how do we leave the pain body but keep the wisdom? And that's what we're figuring out right now through this breakthrough. Now, what else do I want to say really quick? I think I'm done right now. Yeah, I think I'm done right now. So, you know, so what you're experiencing with me, this is like me really like allowing myself to just channel and not think. That's why it's a little all over the place and non-linear. This is real information. You know, I don't need to overthink it, you know. And I got respect for creators that, you know, put in a lot of work to, you know, build an empire. you know, because you guys have that fixed energy, you know. So like shout out to you, Christopher Witecki, and what you've built, because you're a Taurus, you know, you're a Taurus sun and a Leo rising. You have a lot of fixed energy. I'm Gemini sun, Gemini moon. I'm magic. I'm magic, and I experience the magic. Okay. I have Aldebaran on my moon, and I have Pallas Athena on my sun. I am all mental magic. I actually experience the magic. But you're a fixed energy that's here to work and build a castle. That's why fixed energy is royal, because when you're building a kingdom, when you're building a castle, you can't pick up and move it. That castle is fixed. That's where it is. That's that castle. That's that domain of that castle. But I'm the magic of the dragon and the fairies that brings this mystical experience in that. And that's the mutable signs. Okay. So that's why I embrace this. I embrace my style in flowing and speaking in this way. And to all of you guys that, you know, listen to astrologers, listen to more than one astrologer, because the cosmos, the universe, and all of the different ways that this could be understood and experienced it's there's so much to it, and not one person can give it all. Not one person can give it all. No, not even an AI computer could give it all. It's so fucking grand and constantly flowing and shifting and adapting and responding. So, you know, I tune into multiple astrologers at once, you know, because this astrologer is going to give it to me that way. That astrologer is going to give it to me this way. This astrologer is going to give it to me this way. So shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to the Peace Dealer. Shout out to Jackson Lannis. Shout out to Colby from Soul Sloth Astrology. Shout out to Sabrina Marnark. I haven't tuned into your content in a while, but you're fucking amazing. You know, shout out to all you astrologers. Like every single one of you have your own unique, beautiful way in translating the stars, you know, and so do I. And so no one can do it like you can do it. So for those of you that are, you know, getting ready to, you know, come out of the cosmic closet, as my best friend likes to say, coming out of the cosmic closet, you know, and are like, okay, well, you know, I'm feeling inspired to do a podcast, or I'm feeling inspired to make a YouTube channel, or do this and do that. But then you have that negative self-talk, or like, oh, not another podcast, or like, oh, not another YouTube. Or you also see other people saying the same fucking negative thing, like, oh, another person on YouTube, or another person doing a channel or a tarot reader. Like, cancel all of that. Don't let any of that control you, because as my Aquarius gay best friend always likes to say, like, dude, when you go to a grocery store and you're walking down the bread aisle, how many fucking different companies and different loaves of bread do you see there? Like dozens, dozens and dozens and dozens, you know? And if you stand there long enough, you see people, they just go to the bread that they like, and that their body likes, that they like to use to make their sandwiches and eat. And they'll be loyal to that bread. Maybe every once in a while they'll try a different bread or whatnot, or maybe no longer that one bread doesn't serve them anymore. Now they like the taste of this other bread. The point is, when a new company wants to put their bread on the market and out that aisle, they're not thinking, oh man, but there's already so many different bread out there, and like I can't compete with the other brands. Like, no, just do it. Just fucking do it. Someone will come into the metaphysical grocery store, walk down the aisle of tarot readers, of channelers, of astrologers, and be like, I like this bread. This bread has everything that I need to make my sandwich. You know what I mean? So just do it. Like, just fucking do it right now. And this is the year, with you're not getting into all the astrology, but this is the year to really allow yourself to take action on doing something that you feel from the heart, that assists you in breaking through from your old patterns, and anything that's limiting you and holding you back. Just say, fuck it. I hear you negative self-talk, but I'm not going to listen to you, and I'm not going to let it stop me, you know? So I'm doing it. With that being said, I'm done for now. If you have any questions, you reach out to me. My platform is also now on Rumble. So you can go to Rumble Unscripted Liberation Codes and you can see our podcasts. So, I'll still be putting videos on YouTube, but it's only going to be a matter of time until YouTube gets tired of me saying 9/11 was an inside job and all this other shit before they delete my whole fucking channel. And if it happens, it's going to happen. But I'm trying to get everything that I already have on YouTube onto Rumble, so that way it's not lost forever, because that would kind of really suck. So head on over to Rumble, because fuck YouTube. And my website, book a reading or email me. Once again, I am the Blu-ray Bodhisattva. Love and light, death and darkness.